Jubilee bracelet with a pyramid. What do you say? Pyramid cut bezel.
I have no idea on watches. I wish I knew more.
Yeah. It's a Day two-tone.
Let's see.
So
I just want to make sure
Just
we're live on
watching his shit.
Yeah, yeah. I just got it.
Is it a dupe or real?
Is that a splurge?
It's real. No, it's real.
Oh, is it real?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like a splurge is like
like a
did good at the end of the year.
Yes.
Okay. That's
Was it
good.
like 6K?
It was 15.
15?
Yeah.
Oh.
I wanted to get one last year, so I said I wouldn't. But I said if I did good the next year, then I would. So then I was like December, and I forgot that I wanted it because I just have been doing nothing but work.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh. And then I went on a vacation, and they had one right there. They had like a jewelry store, and I don't even know. I just like I have to.
If you ever want to get another one, we'll take a trip out to Vucum's.
You gotta.
We're going to do I want to hit a certain goal, and we're gonna go take a trip to Vucum.
Yeah.
What's Vucum?
That's the people we met.
Oh. Oh wait, you just met in New York?
Yeah. Yeah. He's got like 2 million followers on TikTok.
Oh, really?
And he does like. He's big on like the negotiations on 42nd Street. So
yeah.
He's like, we're gonna do a fast flip. I bought this watch for this much, and I'm gonna try to make this much money on it. And he just goes out and he does a flip.
I see them do that at like car dealerships now. They like flip for like
George.
for price.
Yeah.
George. Yeah.
We were gonna go see him, but we had no time.
And where is he? Where is he?
That's New Jersey.
New Jersey. Yeah.
All right, I'll send you. We always go live on Twitch, but we don't really promote it. But we're live on Twitch if you wanna grab that link.
Yeah.
And then we'll give you the other media recorded.
Okay.
And that'll probably be out next week or something. Chaz, you want to listen to the audio really quick to make sure it's good? I sent the link in the. Just go away from the mic so it doesn't.
So.
You have your mic on you, right, Chaz?
Test. Yep.
Everything sound good?
Ben, test.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
We'll just keep it like right there.
Yeah.
You don't even have to
test talking.
Yeah, sounds good.
You want me to here? Is there good? I could do like a little behind the scenes with like a link or something.
Yeah, let's do it.
There's a water there.
All right, guys, pop in the chat.
Get in the chat. We're going live.
Yeah, we're on Twitch, but it's gonna be on YouTube.
All right. Let me get this.
And then hit auto. So it should be switching now. Automatically, I think. We'll see. It should.
And then how do I do a... Man, I gotta... This I should know. Link. Okay, cool.
Testing 1 2 3. Yep, it is switching. We are good.
Switch to me.
I set it to neutral, so it won't be like anything crazy fast.
Test.
Yeah.
Everything in between.
Ben.
Yes. All right, should I put on my story?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now too. Then we'll get
Just
into
making
this.
sure everything's set up.
Link. Bam. Bam.
Yeah, it looks like the link's working.
Bam. Do it right now too. Then we'll get into it.
Cool.
It sounds crispy.
It sounds crispy to me.
All right, let's get into it. So, this is the 5th podcast that we have been doing on Impulse Cameras podcast, and we just got onto Apple Music and Spotify and all the major channels. But we have Ben Wiegman as a guest, and we have Travis too. But
happy to be here on the 5th.
yeah, Ben has been I mean, we've known each other how many years now? It's almost got to be 4.
Probably.
No, it's a long time.
I would say 3 to 4. Maybe
3 to 4?
maybe somewhere in the middle, probably 3.5.
Okay.
Right
yeah.
at 3.5 years.
Yeah, we met up on Upwork, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna share that story. Or?
Yeah, let's go into it.
Yeah. So it was maybe 3 or 4 months post me getting done playing college baseball, and I had started out digital marketing, and I remember I closed my first deal, and it involved a video shoot.
Yep.
And I didn't think about the fact that I was not a videographer. So I remember frantically freaking out, going on all the platforms, Upwork, Fiverr. I remember typing in like hashtag videographers with the city that I was going to, and Shane popped up, and I remember getting to the shoot nervous because I had never met Shane, and I remember meeting you in the parking lot, and we dabbed each other, and I was like, okay, everything's gonna be good, because he seemed like such a genuine person, and I was like talking to him, and I remember telling you like, almost like act like we know each other.
Yeah, I mean, it was,
Like,
he's very upfront.
they think we know each other.
Yeah, and I was like, this is funny. I could tell off the bat right away that he was like very, like the work ethic was there. He just, it was the same vibe that I had, and then we kind of just like went off each other, and then we started doing some shoots for, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about the clients, but
yeah, for
I mean,
sure.
if you gotten from where you were before to now, it's awesome to see, because I was just with him probably, I don't know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and now he's just doing really well, and I love to see it. It's badass.
Yeah,
But,
it's been a journey.
Well, let's go back, because you were doing baseball.
I was doing baseball.
Yeah, for what team?
I played at the University of Louisville for up through the end of my junior year. So, I mean, I had played baseball. Honestly, that was probably my identity. What I thought I was going to be doing, probably still to this day, for most of my life. I started playing travel baseball when I was 12, 13 years old. And I was 14 years old when I committed to the University of Louisville. Mm-hmm. And my whole life was travel baseball. It was... I always had an entrepreneurial side, but I feel like I was so busy with baseball, I never could even, I guess, do what I wanted to do.
Sure.
I think once I got to 13, 14, I would maybe, I think my brother and I, we did, shout out Drew. Oops, sorry, Mike. Shout out Drew.
Drew's awesome. That's his brother.
He's awesome.
And I think that's why we vibed well, too. Is he's got a brother, and they're both hustling. So
yeah, he's on the same grind. Check him out on TikTok. He's a cello player. But like we would hustle like a landscaping business. I was terrible at landscaping. I was the weed whacker. I broke a lawnmower, smashed into one of those little electrical things in the backyard, and so that wasn't for me. But we had the hustle. We did the flyers. But once I got to age 15 or 16, I remember looking at the whole online Shopify dropshipping model.
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah. So he was doing Shopify before we were doing it, and he was telling me about he was making these crazy sales during high school, and I mean, he was grinding during high school.
Yeah. So it was just cutting grass to make just enough money, a few $100s, to go blow it all on ads, get to zero, and try again and again and again and again. And I think after like the 15th store, my life was just like sitting in hotel rooms during baseball tournaments, doing school, but like hustling on my computer trying to make this work. And I remember almost throwing in the towel. And I think it was like a few $100s left. It was not much more than maybe $500, and it finally worked. And the product that worked, I have it on a keychain. It was called Love Charms, and it was a keychain based on Valentine's Day, where you take the anniversary and you put a heart around it. And so it's this customized product that you just add to your keychain. And that was the one that blew up. And I sold phone cases, I sold dog toys, I sold everything in between.
What were you doing, if you can say it? Because I remember you telling me, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, in terms of...
I don't know, just
I think
sales?
I think...
Because February was like the big ticket.
It was,
right?
Yeah, so I remember, I would say the best week I had when I was doing Shopify dropshipping, I was sitting in business class. I was with my brother, and my school was great. I went to Carmel Catholic High School, and it was great, but I do remember... sometimes in my business class, I would be doing my business, which means I wasn't really doing the lessons that we were learning. And I remember one day I got yelled at for not paying attention, so rightfully so, but I was working on business, and I remember it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Right.
And so I turned my notifications on for Shopify, because anyone
that makes that cool.
Anyone that does Shopify knows that makes that ching sound, and it's like
it's
a big.
the best feeling.
It's the best. It's like the biggest serotonin boost you could get.
Yeah.
So I remember being a little like annoyed and frustrated. I'm like, I'm doing the things you're saying, but I'm really doing them. So I turned my notifications on and just left it. And I just put my phone in classes, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. It's like, turn that phone off. And I'm like, so I use that as a little bit of, I don't know, a chip on my shoulder, I guess. But I think the best week I did was, I want to say like $19,000 or almost like $20,000 in a week selling these keychains when I was like 16. So I think for me at that time, it taught me more than just like running paid ads, but it forced me to look at customer service and fulfillment, because mind you, Shopify dropshipping, you're dealing with selling products from China where you have 14, 21 day ship times, and so that could be very, very difficult and challenging. And so I had to do a lot of customer service, and so I had to learn like managing customer service teams to respond to the people ahead of time, because to let them know, hey, like, listen, due to high order volumes, like, it's going to take longer for shipping. So
you're learning the whole back end part.
Yeah, here's the discount. Here's 5%, $5 off your next order.
Just trying to keep that customer happy.
Keeping them happy. And so it taught me a lot of the fundamentals I'm doing now for different companies, but for myself at a young age. So getting through high school, I ended up at the University of Louisville, played there for a few years. It was great, but honestly, it's hard. They're one of the top schools for baseball, and at that level, it's almost ridiculous to think that you can compete at that level if you have multiple things going on.
Right.
It's not that you can't have any hobbies. But for me, I just felt like something pulling me away from the game.
Yeah.
And in high school, I think I loved it, but I think it caught up to me where you got
to be there every day.
You got to be there every day, and I was putting in the work, but I just, to me, felt like I was supposed to do something else. And so at the end of my junior year, I remember just coming back home, and when that happened, it's like you have that moment of, whoa, like, who am I? Because, I did some cool things with Shopify in high school, but I had to take a step away a little bit. I had a few instances I got scammed when I was like a senior. Did some partnerships.
That's another segment. Have a good partner if you're going to be in business with somebody.
Have a partner. Yeah,
we can go into that story in a little bit, but keep going.
Long story short, though, I took some time away from the business side after that happened, which we can dive into in a little. So when I got done playing baseball, I had almost like this identity like crisis, like, who am I? What am I supposed to do? I became a realtor. I sold some homes. Mm-hmm. I listed some homes,
which I was there for. I watched that. That was cool.
Yeah, I had that whole phase, and it was just what I didn't know exactly who I was going to be, what I was meant to be. I didn't know any of that.
Is that like that imposter syndrome?
Yeah, 100%. It definitely was, and
which I think you did a great job of where you're going at now, because I mean, in the sport world, you got injured a month ago.
You got this big old scar.
Yeah,
I got this big old scar on my arm. But
that would have, if that happened during doing baseball.
Yeah,
how big of an impact would that have been?
Yeah, and he's talking about so I got this dirt bike. When I was playing baseball, I was too scared to do anything for this very reason. I always wanted a dirt bike, and had some experience riding like some like enduros, but nothing crazy. I get this dirt bike. This is a race bike, YZ250F something. And like the second time I took it out, I was going like 40 miles an hour on a track, went over a jump. There was a sharp turn, missed the turn, slam on the brakes, go over the handlebars, smash into a tree, break my scapula. I remember laying in the dirt, going like, it was getting really fun on the bike, and I was like, yeah, I just broke my arm. So I had to that was kind of a nightmare. But to your point, I couldn't, you're playing sports, you gotta,
you cannot be injured.
Even when I was pretty much bubble wrapping myself, I wouldn't go skiing, I wouldn't do any of the things I liked. I ended up with this scar, and the scar on my arm. And so I think for me, it was difficult. So I would say a few months after doing real estate, I realized I think I had a little bit, and maybe it would be helpful to dive into the scam story, but I had a little bit of PTSD from doing anything entrepreneurial, like online e-commerce, doing anything with my own business, because of a bad partnership that I had. And so it finally hit a point. I had shown, I think, my 30th home when I was a realtor. I showed my 30th home. It was like the perfect home. And anyone that has done real estate knows it's like the commission's nice, but if you actually calculate the amount of time spent showing the homes, driving, cost of gas, cost of marketing for the home, it's not as much as you'd think unless you're doing like luxury.
Right.
And so after showing like the 30th home, it was the perfect home, but the person, the buyer took out a loan for a ring and messed up their credit. And I think I had a moment driving home. It was like an hour drive back home. And I just had something in my stomach like, am I really that scarred from this partnership? Like, I was good in high school. But maybe to rewind, you want me to dive into that?
Yeah, I mean, how much did he take?
So I think when I was, when you're doing anything in business in the early stages, you reinvest everything. But at the time, I think, especially being 16 years old, I think maybe I had 20, 30,000 in my checking account, which for me, again, was, more money than I could ever fathom, especially being in high school. And I was sitting at lunch, and I'll never forget it. I still have the screenshot. I have all the texts. I have everything documented. But I had been working with this guy for like 4 or 5 months, and his name was Kai. He's from Australia. I won't say anything further, but you know who you are. Yeah, he sucks. And we're sending money back and forth, doing a lot of these like stores together. And one day I get a DM. I'm sitting at lunch in high school. I think it's sophomore year, and I get I think it's called a GIF or a GIF, whatever you call those
GIF.
things, of a skeleton waving by. And as soon as I see it, I'm like, okay, weird. And my heart kind of dropped. I'm like, weird enough to where I'm like, this isn't good. And this was somebody that I was working with. Like, I would be on a Zoom call with him until 3 a.m. to wake up at 6 to go to school, and then after school go to practice, and then come home and like from 8 p.m. until like 3 a.m. just grind these Shopify stores. And
right.
So somebody I was really close with and trusted, and again sent money back and forth. And I saw that, and for some reason, as soon as I saw the skeleton, I knew to immediately check my Chase account. And I checked my Chase account, and my checking account was like negative $1,600, which I thought it just would stop at zero. I thought it would stop at zero, and it didn't. And I remember, my heart dropped. I felt like disappointed in myself. My parents, I remember I had to call my parents and kind of like tell them like, do I get the police involved? Like what?
That's
what
a lot of money. Yeah. That is insane amount of money. I mean, we can imagine we had the same situation happen, but it's kind of different. But
yeah,
I mean, to have someone that you trusted take that from you, I mean,
and taunt you beforehand.
Taunting,
it's way different.
Yeah, and he blocked me and then unblocked me and acted, and then he sent a fake wire for $50,000. Like, there was a lot of manipulation, like toying around with it, to where it kind of, I think it really scarred me enough to where I'm like, I want to be far away from this, just focus on baseball for years. And I think that's why I went to real estate before even getting back into business. And so after I stopped, had that moment in the car with real estate, I was just like, you know what, I can't let that, if I let something at 16 years old dictate like what I'm going to do with my life and or hold me back from, there's just no way that can be me. So
right.
I started, offering the digital marketing services I had learned to companies. A lot of it was just door to door, sending emails, calling, DMing, rejection after rejection, but you eventually get the yes.
Yep.
Volume negates luck, and so even if it's 1 out of 100, right, it's just a numbers game. And so that's what eventually led me to meet Shane and
which
Travis.
He's a great salesman. He's really good at what he does. He can really speak. That I give him that credit. I mean, he knows how to do it. So
yeah, I mean, I think in the early stage, if there's anything I was terrified to do, and you can even ask my brother. My brother's a social one.
Yeah.
If there's anything I was terrified to do is talk and communicate.
You know how to navigate problems.
Yeah.
I love it. It's awesome. It's one trait I wish I had to a point. I can do it, but I can't keep doing it over and over like a daily thing. It's too much stress.
Yeah.
I like being creative, but you got that back end business side down.
Yeah. My slogan is we specialize in solutions, and I think. I don't know, like when I ask, like when someone asks like what my passion is, it's weird because yes, it's business, and yes, I do digital marketing. I love problem solving, and I think maybe my skill set's digital marketing, but I love when something seems impossible, and I'm just like, no, Like, there's no way it's impossible. And I like finding the solutions, and
you take accountability too. A lot of people do not do that at all.
Yeah. And I think also just one thing that's helped with that is I have a complete detachment of a fear of failure. So I think I failed so many times that the idea of doing it again to me is so normal.
It's numb.
Yeah, it's just part of the business.
Yeah. And I learned, like, in business, speed is everything.
Right.
And so for me, my motto has been, I will, some people take so much time to think about what they want to do before they do it. And so, like, a good example is somebody who's, they might take a year for their business plan before they start. I will start and fail 100 times over, but in those 100 times gets to the right one before they start to begin with.
Yeah, I don't think you can plan for your business. You just got to go into it.
You can't.
That's the biggest thing.
So for me, speed's been everything. And yeah, again, just, understanding, and I did a post about this yesterday, but you have to love the game. And the game includes, wins and losses. And so I get very confused when somebody is confused that they're struggling. Yep. And that, they have some back against the wall. Like, you will, especially
you got to look at yourself. That's what you got to do.
You have to. If you're self-funding.
And change something.
Yeah. If you're self-funding, if you are, anything in between, whether you are or not, like, you're going to have the moments where you check your bank account, you're freaking out. You might have the moments where you're like,
remember that one time at Hitters, dude? That's fucking crazy, dude.
He
was like negative what?
So I remember talking, this was, God, the crazy thing about this, I think this was like maybe less than 2 years ago, though.
Yeah.
I think this was less than 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think that was the point where we're both like, let's just go crazy on both business.
Go crazy.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yeah, I remember we were standing in the parking lot after a video shoot, and I
showed me his, and I showed you mine.
Yeah. And we held our phones up, and it was,
yeah, I mean, we could go on the numbers. I think that's a good thing to talk about.
For sure.
Like, what was yours at? I forget.
So
you were stressing about negative, what, $8,000?
Probably more. So, like,
yeah, or I remember 20 or something like that.
Yeah, I remember. So I had here's what I had to do. You want to know the reality of it?
I think I screenshotted it.
Probably.
Because we both did.
Yeah, we were like,
look back at it.
Yep. So what I remember, the lowest moment, and I remember being with him, talking at a shoot about it, but I think I maxed out all of my business credit cards, $0 in the bank account, but then, like, maxed out the credit, so I couldn't even get debt. I wasn't, and my score was so bad because I was maxed out that I couldn't get more debt, and so I actually was running out of time, and so I had some room, maybe a few $1,000s left on a personal credit card, so to buy myself like an extra few weeks because of my expenses, I would send myself an invoice to then pay with my personal credit card, get hit with like the $200 credit card fee from Stripe or Square, to then just get enough money in the business checking account to stay alive for another few weeks. It was like negative 30 grand, 40, like, but with zero in the checking account and no income.
Right.
So you have moments like that, and again, it's not to say it's not difficult, but it will happen.
It'll happen.
And I've listened to others talk about it.
It sucks, but, like, I think that's where it just makes us different. We're going to try to push past that and fucking make it work.
Yeah.
I don't care. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I mean, I just remember that, right, sitting by the VW, and we're both like, oh, you're down bad. I'm down bad.
Yeah.
No, I'm down bad. And we're both, like, sitting there, and I don't know. Just, that was a cool point.
It was, and I feel like you gotta, when you have people in your life, to this day, you guys are like, it's so hard to find like real ones that truly get it. And so when you do find them, keep them close.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
even though if life gets busy, like we're still connecting like we just talked the other day.
Yeah.
It's good. It's nice to have friends that are in the same
space. And I think you need people in the same space because it drives you. Because that's what happened. I mean, I went to his spot in Chicago. He's in a high rise. He's got 3 employees, like 10 contractors. He's got it fucking dialed. You got it dialed, man. I love it. And I know there's gonna be downs still throughout the year or whatever, but seeing that progress, you gotta give yourself kudos. Being a little less
afraid of it now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is just
it's a lot of managing and
that's
stuff.
That's the difference right there, is like,
it's a motivator to all right, I gotta do something,
Yeah, you screw up enough and you get in enough back against the wall situations that you end up getting out of whether that means debt, whether that means closing deals and figuring it out,
Yeah.
whatever it means, like you end up fine. If you just don't quit, you end up fine somehow.
Yeah, I always tell Travis, I'm like, it's all about timing. It's the weirdest freaking thing,
Yeah.
but timing will it'll take its course. Like you have to feel the downs right now, but you'll have the good days, you know?
Yeah, and that's what makes it so much more special, in my opinion. That's why I love talking to founders. I talk to hired CEOs all the time.
Yeah.
And they're very sharp individuals. But you talk to a founder, somebody who's built it, and it's just a different conversation.
Yeah, it's like...
It's a different conversation.
No fucks given type of conversation.
It is, because they've been in the back against the wall positions, and I found, my close rate and my sales, I connect with these founders so much because I let them know, like, any company I work with, I treat them as if it's my own company because I've been the one 3 a.m. cross-eyed freaking out about bills. So when I'm working with somebody where I know that's what they had to do for their company,
yeah, there's same feeling.
There's no way I can work with somebody and then not care about I don't treat them like a client. I don't treat them like I just look at it different, and I think that's probably been the reason why I've been able to grow at a faster rate is because I emphasize that.
You got mentors too. It sounds like that's really good to have.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
right off the bat, because we started like that too. Is like we have these two. We have a couple that we really look for advice, and it's Chrissy and Damien.
Yep.
And they got us through like a good period of time where we're like, shit, we don't know what to do, and we asked them for some advice, and and now we're here,
Yeah,
but
and you guys,
yeah, you've been killing it though. Like, I always tell people about Ben because you just know how to problem solve. That's the thing. You just know how to do it. But
yeah. And even like with what you guys have done, it's good to have people in your life like this because I remember a few stories that we could talk about, but I remember it just like watching you guys get this place set up, and like especially that opening day. And I think Chrissy and Dame, like they were there, and it's cool to see the people show up.
Yeah, and they show up. That's the thing.
And even friends and family, like it's so difficult being a business owner because you always have to navigate. When you're the owner, that means everybody just perceives your busyness and your schedule you're choosing because you are. And it's hard to describe it if you're not, the owner. But what that means is when you're navigating personal relationships, whether it's friends or family, a lot of times it's like, you might miss out on certain moments where they can, people are always hanging out and you're not as available because you are grinding your life away. And so when you have people in your life that understand that and they don't judge you for being busy and they don't put too much pressure on you, those are the ones you want to keep close because you need people, but you need people that don't have too many strings attached to where there's guilt involved if you are down bad.
You gotta, and be able to do your thing.
It's still going to be hard, but they understand. That's the big thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They need to understand.
Like I don't spend as much time with like the people I did beforehand, but they get it.
Yeah.
We're trading our 9 to 5 to a 24/7. Like, it's nonstop.
Right.
Like, we don't stop working.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But you don't ever have to report to anybody, which is nice.
Yeah. So and that's what I think the driving motivator is for making it work and finding those solutions is like I don't want to go back to what I was doing.
Nope.
That's jail to me. I don't want to go back to prison.
Yeah, the pain of it not working out and what the alternate option would be is so much greater than the pain of the 18, 19-hour days, the sleepless nights, like the debt, for me, that fear of failure terrifies me way more than the joy I get from winning. And so I think for me, that's more of my motivating factor is just, I think I've been blessed and I'm for sure blessed and I've definitely worked hard. For me, again, I just love the game itself is what I love. And I think, I don't know, what keeps me going is the game itself. And it has nothing to do with any type of, I want to buy this house someday. I mean, there's goals that you have that are nice. And it's nice to, take a look back and say like, oh, wow, look at what I've done. But I think the type of human you have to become to build the thing that, levels you up, you have to become obsessed.
Right.
And you shouldn't feel guilty when you hit a milestone and you don't feel like it's enough. That's the game. Yeah. Like that's the game. And so sometimes people call that greed and I just get confused because I'm like, so you're telling me excited to wake up at 6 a.m. or me being able to function like I'm wired with minimal caffeine or a lot of caffeine, but like on minimal sleep more than somebody else, like you're telling me it's a bad thing to be this excited about life. Like you're calling that greed, that I want more. Because for me, that's what wakes me up out of bed.
Excited for what you want to do.
Excited for life and what I'm doing. So
and sometimes those are going to be 18, 19-hour days.
Yeah.
You just don't know.
It's part of it.
Because, you got to get shit done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, I think for me, I don't know. I think it's been one heck of a journey, but it's cool to see. I have like a journal that I timestamp my journal when I put intrusive thoughts, and I should be better about how often I do it. But when I do it, it's just far enough out where I just put the date, the revenue I'm at, and then like a few bullet points of like where I'm at and how I'm feeling mentally.
Yep.
And you just go back and, you wake up every day and typically I find a lot of people like us, you always feel like you're not doing enough. And you feel like you feel like you're behind.
Yep.
But then that's day to day and maybe even week to week or month to month, sometimes year to year. But when you document where you're at and the progress, whether it's through content, whether it's through a journal, and you really take a step and you go broader, you look a little further out, it's like, whoa.
Look at what you built.
Like we just talked about the conversation. I think that was less than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, you gotta, for me, everything's so focused on just the process and just winning each day. And, I have goals, but I set them and then I forget about them. What I do is I set my goal and then I break down the steps that it's going to take to achieve the goal. And then I only focus on the steps and the action items that are required each day for me to probably get to that goal. Because if I focus on the goal, my goals are psycho. They're ridiculous. And if I just focus on that, I will wake up thinking about how far away I am from that.
Right.
But if I just focus on the steps, and to me, the win is a day where I do those steps and I just stack more and more of those days, you build momentum. And then again, you more than not, you end up at that goal because so much of the game involves like who's going to burn out, who's going to have the creative fatigue, who can put in more hours. And for me, when my mental health is bad, it gets foggy. Like you still do the work, but it's way more difficult than when you have a clear mind. And my brain gets foggy when I have bad mental health. And when I'm focused on how far behind I am, I get that burnout feeling.
Right.
But when I feel good and happy about nothing I don't even, you check your bank account and this and that. But when you just, my emotional, like if I'm happy or not is tied to the process, it's not tied to the outcomes. Good things happen because you feel good about what you're doing. And you're not focused on being behind.
Right.
One thing that helps us a lot, mental health wise, is like we have a productive day, and we all say like out loud, like, man, that was a good day.
Yeah.
Like, we got a lot done. Like
Yep.
it feels really good. I can go home and actually like unwind a little bit and like
That's
feel like I deserved it.
That's it. Yeah.
It's I think it's important to just subconsciously we just say that out loud. Like it was a good day. We got a lot done just because like it feels good.
Yeah, and it's just about stacking the productive days. You just you have focus on having one good day, especially if you're like in a funk.
Yeah.
And you think your life's a mess. It's like, well, hold on. Can you just have one good day? Like, can you have one good day? And then if you do that, can you just do that one more time?
Again, yeah, and chase after those good days.
Yeah, and then oftentimes you find that helps get you out of your funk.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be perpetually, there's going to be a lot of funk days and hopefully some good days in between. Just got to focus on the positive days.
Yeah, you got to focus on the positive days and know that like there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. And like with business, I find it's math, like it's inputs and outputs. And so whether you do the work when you're happy or you do the work when you're sad, it doesn't actually matter. It's just easier to do it when you're happy. But the people that are, can only perform when things are going their way, like, especially considering like business has like a 1%, like there's it's such a small percentage of people that actually will make it in business.
They say 2 years, right?
Yeah. There's going to be so much failure that it's easy to do good work when everything's flowing, when everything's good, when you have money. It's like, okay, how do you perform when your life's falling apart?
Right. That's a good point, because like I talked to this guy Justin Porter Media. I mean, he had a lot going on, and we could talk about that more with him. But his brother died in the meantime of him building his business, and I cannot imagine that. that's like a big fear of mine, and
Yeah.
listening to his story is like crazy. So we got to get him on, but he's trying to build his wedding business, and between that, so both of his brothers died in the meantime of 2-year span, and then his mom got sick. But
That's rough.
I can't. Yeah, I couldn't
like
imagine
listening
that.
to that and just putting your feet in their shoes is just insane. But he's still going, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's just doing his thing, and he's got a good support group, and I think that's what you need.
Yeah, perspective is everything, and I often find like
Yeah, look at your. Yeah, you're doing very well for yourself. With like, I mean, you just have it down, you know.
Yeah, and again, and part of having it down, I think, again, is I myself, I still wake up and go to bed feeling like I'm not doing enough. but I'm okay. I know that's the game. Like,
Right.
I know that. So it's not some deep emotional thing. It's just, it's normal. But I think perspective is everything. And I think, you know, I have people in my life and some friends that have some stories and some life experiences that I couldn't imagine having.
Yes.
And I've been blessed to have a very good life. Not that I haven't had any issues. Everyone has them, but
You're healthy.
Yeah, I'm
You got
healthy and I'm blessed. And
Yep.
you know, there's people out there that, you know, life is difficult, and I think when it's very easy when, you know, your world is caving in on you to almost feel isolated in that. And it's not that maybe somebody else isn't, you know, that someone else has experienced exactly what you've experienced, but the feeling behind it, the depression, the anxiety, the fear of the unknown, the fear of being broke, all those feelings people do have. And you know, with my church, we have, you know, I'll donate, and there's orphans in Africa, and, you know, I see these photos that they send, you know, in Kenya.
It's insane.
It's insane.
It's not even like,
yeah, and they, you know,
we're not even in the same world as them.
not even close. And these are, you know, orphans, and I'm like, and all the photos I have, which are not staged photos, by the way, they're not like classroom photos. These are photos of them just in their environment. They're all ear to ear smiling.
Right.
And, you know, it's just, when you see that, you just go, you know,
It's not that
there
bad.
are people there, you'd be surprised, because there are people that would pray to have the problems that you have at certain points.
Right.
And, you know, you always say, like, you know, for me, I'm a, you know, pretty religious person. It's like you pray for, like, I used to pray to be in the situation I'm complaining to God about. It's like, whoa, you know. So it's like, for me, that perspective is everything, because you get lost in your own little world, and you realize, okay, you know, sometimes it's good. That's why community is an important thing, because it helps to just know, you know, somebody else. Like, I talked to Shane, you know, you guys just had a pretty, and I don't know if you want to talk about it, but you guys just had a pretty, you know, serious thing happen. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
scam situation.
We had 2 guys come in, and I mean, it was separate days or whatever, but they rented out our equipment for a week, and they grabbed $34,000 worth of gear of ours, and we just makes you not want to work. That's the one thing. It made it a weird feeling in the stomach, just getting that taken from us. And I mean, we're not bad people. We just got taken advantage of, you know. And that's what it comes down to. And it's just, I mean, but then again, there's a lot of people that have it way worse.
Well, and you get to
just
a point where it's like, we work too hard to let these two fucking guys like ruin what we built. You know?
Right.
So we just get to the point where, like, all right, we just got to get past it. And
Yeah.
we were mad in the moment, and it was a huge morale hit, but we got past it.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to push past that and just keep on going.
We did the whole, like, people asked us to make GoFundMes, and we did T-shirts. We didn't even make, like, a fraction of the money back for the rentals. But
we had a great community.
Yeah, so how many people showed up and said, you guys got this? Like, that's what kept us
So we
going.
appreciate everybody that supported us, donated money, or bought the shirt. It's huge. It helped us out and just made us feel a bit better about ourselves.
Right. Like, okay, we have people behind us. That, even though there's 2 bad actors out there, we have, like, 200 people.
And you have that similar feeling with that guy. It's just it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's bad people out there, and you need to cut that fat.
Yep.
Get rid of those bad clients, those bad people in your life. Get rid of it.
You have to, because
that's one thing I want to ask you. Like, is how do you manage that? Like, bad clients versus good clients, and how do you structure your business around that now?
That's a great question,
because we dealt with that, and that's why we got out of it. It's not for everybody. We wanted to do the camera stuff.
When do you like decide to, like, the money's good, but at what point is it worth it, and when do you cut it off? You know.
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's a
There's
game.
also water here. We don't want to.
Oh yeah, sure.
Parch you.
Yeah, I'll take some. It's a great question because.
Also, how old are you too?
I just turned 24.
That's insane.
Young buck.
I love that.
Young book. It's a good question because I've definitely had my fair share of challenges with it. So I would say it's a few things. When I say it's a game of leverage, I strictly am talking about the financial aspect of it because...
maybe we should go into how do you, like, what you actually do for Wigs marketing and then talk about that because you structure your business way different than a regular, like, agency. You're not even like an agency. You're more like one-on-one. Yeah,
so what I like to say is... I try to lean away from like agency and even agency terms with like clients and
it's got a bad connotation nowadays.
It does, yeah. People have the ick. That's what they call it, the ick. And it's because essentially lots of marketing companies they promise the world. Maybe the first couple months they're the priority, but then they just start stacking clients, and so they just become a number. And the attention gets spread across hundreds of different people, and they can't do the fulfillment, or the fulfillment quality goes down. For me, I try to position my company, Wigs Marketing Solutions, as a growth engine for other businesses. So I don't really even. Sometimes you'll say like the term like agency. For me, it's more of a growth partner, and I've really leaned into that. One thing I learned in the early stages is if I'm a service provider, that's dangerous. So, like if a lot of times contractors and agencies fall into this category, if you are not making a business money and a business is running out of money, you go first. Right. They don't need the cool videos. They don't need anything that might be considered fluff when their business is tanking. And so I had some situations like that where I realized, okay, I need to make them money. And so I tried to veer away from service provider. And I think for me, in terms of navigating that, I think that helps me in terms of showing people being very ROI driven. And it's like, what's the purpose of the video before we go film the video? And what is the purpose of the ad? And just showing like... Instead of just go filming the video and then trying to think of a title afterwards, it doesn't make for... It makes for problems for views. And just the ROI is not there. So as I, started getting clients and partners and just different businesses I'm working with, you run into situations where one of two things. One, you desperately need money. And when you desperately need money, not that it's dirty money, but, I had situations where I had to say yes to deals that I knew were going to backfire on me 4 months later. And that's business, though. You'll get those. So yeah. And, there have been times where maybe it was like a prejudge where I'm like, it seems sketchy, and it actually turned out great. Yeah. And so sometimes you don't know. I think for me, I've done enough volume and worked with enough people to where I can see what some of the red flags are ahead of time. At a minimum, I would say if you're not ROI driven and you're not focused on the results, I think what you will often find, and I already know you guys, because we've talked about this, will agree, the lowest paying clients or people you work with usually tend to be the most difficult. And it's not, I don't always blame them. Like, think about it. Like, I've worked with companies where they just run out of money, and that's all they gotta say. They run out of money. Yeah, that's what happens. And so they micromanage, and they freak out, and they're like, I don't like this video, but they liked it a week ago. And but they just try to put on so many tasks that aren't feasible within that timeline. And it's nothing wrong saying, hey, I just can't afford you guys, or I can't afford marketing right now. We need to take a step back or figure something else out and strategize for the next month. Yeah, for sure. And so you find like the higher paying clients that you work with, often there's more trust involved, and it's more laid back too, and it's trust. Yeah, and when they let you do your thing, obviously with the expectation it's going to work, and if it doesn't work, then that's a whole other issue. That's a fulfillment problem. But on the basis that what you're doing works and you do the things you say you'll do, it works better for everyone. Hitting those deadlines. Yeah, it's less communication, more creative flow. You're not as restricted, and so I mean, for me, in terms of navigating it, I've found that if the business is making money, you tend to be in a good spot. They don't reach out. They don't freak out and call. That's the number one outlier I found with, clients that are good versus bad in terms of like how the relationship works is most of the time centered around money. Sometimes they're just psychos, and you have psychos.
I mean,
you gotta watch out
I've seen that from afar from one of his clients, and I told you off the bat, and you kind of knew it off the bat too.
I knew it. And I needed the money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm like, trust me, I know what you're saying is true. Like, I gotta get through the next month.
Yeah, you just you kind of feel it, but if you need it. You need to get past that month. You got to take it, You got
to do what you got to do. And so, but the root is that if they're making money, things are good. And if they're not making money, that's when, if you have a scope of work and you're supposed to make the money and you're not making money, you pretty much no longer have a scope of work. Because what I've found is if you want to work with these businesses, you got to make the money, but if you're not making them money, they don't look at you as the educator. They don't look at you as the leader. And so I found with businesses that might be struggling that we've worked with, they start running the meetings. They start going, I have to manage this service provider. I have to make sure they're doing the right things.
Whereas it should be the other way around.
It should be the other way around. And so I almost look at it as, anytime that ever happens, I look at it as a punishment for not making them money. And there are times where...
Such a perfect example, because we've dealt with one client that we exactly know what you mean.
Yeah.
They start running the show, and it's like, I mean, we're the experts here, so just let us do our thing.
Yeah.
And they don't give you enough time to do it, and it's done.
Well, and that's the other thing. When you talk about expectations, a lot of people also, they always overpromise and underdeliver, and I think that's so backwards. To me, you'd rather be... People talk about sales. I think no script. I think just being authentic. I think setting realistic expectations is like a cheat code. Because everyone has the guarantee. Everyone has... and for me, I don't do that.
And you do stuff out of scope too, just because you care about the business and you want to make it work, and they don't realize that.
They don't,
they do not.
Sometimes you just do it and you don't tell them, and they're like, "Why aren't you doing enough?"
But then when you tell them, it doesn't even faze them.
No, they don't believe it or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, and well, to answer that one, I think one thing I've learned also is over communicate. So. I
am bad at that. I gotta look at myself and check myself sometimes and communicate better with just people in general. So like, just communication's huge.
It is, and again, I'm at a position where I'm only one human, and so I have.
You're good at it, though.
Part of
that's
what
a great skill to have, and you have it.
Part of what I appreciate that. Yeah, part of what my team does is they help with the communication as well. So like every Friday we send reports of every single thing we did, what we are working on, and one thing I've done that I think has been great for retention is just if you have a good enough relationship with the owner or whoever you're reporting to in this situation, where you can just go to them and say like, are you guys really happy with what we're doing, or are you not happy with what we're doing, or anything in between? Like I just did this. I said, like, from time to time I will check in, like, what do you say when you get off the call to your partner? Like, what are the things that you think that you just don't say? Because I often find a lot of times people will act like everything's good. They're just non-confrontational. Sometimes you'll have people that freak out, but you'll also have people that might cancel on you that you didn't know that there was a problem. So for me, it's about just having such good communication with them that they're not scared to say, hey,
Ben, it's just not working out right now.
Because you'll have the micromanager and you'll have the person who's super nice because they're scared of the confrontation, but they will cancel. So solving both matters.
That's a good point. It's just to feel out their actual personality and look at that as a whole too.
And I do it on sales calls, and I think it works great. And it's not even some manipulative. I say, okay, like if a sales call ever goes too well, and it's like, wow, I feel like the amount of times I've thought I've almost closed a deal, and then I'm like, no, they didn't call, but they didn't do the docu. It's like. So what I do almost every time is if it ever is going too well, I ask them, I'm like, sometimes I'll say like, this sounds great, but like what are you going to say? Like, what are you thinking outside? Like, okay, Ben's great, his team's great, but like, what's the but? Like, can we just do that now? Because like we can do the whole back and forth through email, or we can just talk right now because like I respect your time, you respect my time, but like what if there was an objection? What's the objection? And like you have to just I think so many people are scared of objections, and they're taught in sales to do all these like manipulation tactics and reframe. It's like if you're doing high ticket sales, fine, because that means you don't have to worry about fulfillment. But so many people close the deal, and then whatever that objection was comes to light, and they cancel a month later. It's like you got to get to the root if you want these long-term partnerships,
You got to be like transparent.
for me, I want nothing month to month. I tell them, like, if you're interested in doing something short-term, not even close to the fit. It's not even close, because the people, I work with a company, Meekum Auctions, automotive company.
Huge client. That's awesome.
We've been working, we've been working together for, I don't know, we're going on like the second year, everything's going, great. And I love working with your team. And,
and that's the thing. Ben's got these long-term clients too. They've been around for a minute, you know, and you just got to get rid of the bad ones. And
you have to. So in the early stage, and this kind of ties back to the original question about how to navigate. In the early stage, you need cash flow. Without cash flow, like, there's not a business, especially when you have overhead. So, like, if you have employees, you gotta, right? Maybe you run into a situation where if you have to fire somebody, it is what it is. Everyone's story is different. But I care so much about the employees and the people, because I remember all the nights of me sitting by myself on my computer by myself. So now I'm waking up and I'm going downstairs, and I say downstairs because I live in a building where
his place is awesome. I love it. It's all in one.
Yeah.
Grocery store.
Yeah, they got Whole
gym.
Foods. They got the Lifetime gym. It's a cool building in the city, and so like underneath me is where like these work offices are. So I go down the elevator. I get down there, and there's human beings there that are showing up for the thing that I've worked on. And so I care so much, and so cash flow is so crucial. And so you might have to take a bad deal, but when you no longer have to, you have to weed out the poison, because what will happen with bad clients is that they will, and maybe whether they're low paying or not, they will derail the other ones you have.
Right.
And because it takes such a load on your team that now all your attention's being taken away from everybody to a few of the bad ones, and then again, that's how this whole game works. And so you have to, when you can afford to, you have to get rid of them, and they will limit your growth. I just had this happen in December, where I had to tell somebody I can't resign.
Right.
And I think you're a great person. I think
that's a
great.
huge step, though.
Yeah.
Of like just doing that.
It was probably the first time where I ever, said that, and but I'm like, it's limiting the growth. It is limiting the growth. And, although, it's a cash flow
How did
hit,
they respond to that?
Confused.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, confused. And I said, maybe we could do something month to month, and, and maybe we will end up doing something. But, at least for where it was right now, I said, business owner to business owner, like, you're holding, like, not just me, but like the team back, and it's actually derailing everything else. And, and we talked about what the root issue was, and, but the point is like, when you can, do it. And I'll be honest, I was at a point where I didn't know if I really could, but I still did it. Like, you have to, I think, again, like we talked about, when you have these back against the wall situations and you get out of them, I'm not scared of them. Like, even if it all goes wrong, it's still fine.
It was probably a big, relief off your hands. That's the huge thing. You just feel so much better about doing your work. And then going in the next morning and be like, thank God we got to get rid of them, because now we can work on the good stuff.
Yeah, we just started with a new company that, we brought on last week. We just did our kickoff call today. And so it's like...
are those like cold calls, or are you having someone reach out? Do you have someone reaching out now?
So a lot of what we'll do a little bit of everything, but the number one driver has been these job posts.
Yeah.
The job posts online where people are looking for a W-2 employee marketer to do this scope of work.
Oh, now he's giving you the sauce.
Yeah, this one's like...
I don't know if you want to give him too much sauce.
No, and I know. Here's the thing. What I do is difficult enough that I will tell you everything, and... whoever does it's like free game.
Yeah. Right.
But it is a secret sauce. So essentially, I look at sales as how many objections do you have to solve. And when I would go door to door, although I did get deals that way, it wasn't super scalable, because I would walk into businesses where they would say, okay, they didn't even know the value of marketing, or they didn't have the budget, or there's all these different reasons. And with the job post, they tell you the salary that's listed. They tell you the scope of work they want. They tell you everything they're looking for. And
it's a team.
It's digital.
Yeah.
So you get to see like their business. You don't have to walk in. You don't have to cold call. And the only objection you have to solve for is why they would want to work with a company versus a W-2 employee. And for me, I found in the beginning that was a difficult one. But when you solve one objection and you only have to get good at one objection because you know what they were going to pay, you don't have to do the money objection, you don't have to deal with I got to talk to my wife objection, you don't have to deal with any of those other objections. You just get really good at solving for it.
Right.
And so that's been the primary revenue driver for us, is going to these companies that are looking for W-2 employees. Because a lot of times, with our price point, which could be, we deal with companies that could be between, call it, $4 to $8K a month, and maybe that general range. But what you see is, like, if you were to hire somebody, a W-2 employee, full-time salary, let's say they're semi-experienced but not super experienced.
You're getting one person.
Yeah, call it 65K salary, whatever it might be. But now you got payroll fees, and that's really coming out to be like $80-something thousand if you're going to do any benefits and taxes and all of that. It's kind of a lot of money for a person who doesn't have that much experience. Right. And so I think my value proposition has been being able to do obviously way more for way less, but it's not about, from the cost savings perspective for them, I think because we communicate the way we do, you could be spending $60,000-$70,000 a year, and you're getting like what would probably cost multiple employees and or a couple that would be like at least a couple $100,000 a year. I mean, we're running ad accounts and we have enough results to show, $20,000 spent, $400,000, like just enough results just from doing so much of what we do, to where it almost doesn't make sense not to do this model.
You want one person, or do you want a team of 15?
Yeah. So I think,
at the same cost,
that's been the model we've leaned into. And, my long-term plan, I'm using this as an engine to learn business in different industries. One thing that's different about me is I do have different industries I work with. I have product e-commerce companies, and I have
doing
automotive, dental, med spa. I've done the restaurant, but I've done, just a wide range. And I look at that and people say, oh, you got to pick a niche. I'm like,
not really.
All right, well, I'm just kind of doing my thing right now. It's working. Right. But I'm just trying to learn as much as I can about the game of business and all the different industries. I'm talking to all these different CEOs. I have, people that I work with where, one who, owns a company that's, a B2B business that's doing over $100 million a year, and is doing this B2C model and trusting us to work with that. And, I'm working with so many different owners at different levels and different stages that I know what a startup with no funding looks like. I know what a startup with millions of dollars of funding looks like. I know what a business that's doing, $400 million a year, what their systems and their protocols, what that all looks like, and everything in between for the different industries. So my long-term play is I'm using this to build cash flow. I'm using this to learn business, but eventually we're going to reverse it and invest into companies and help grow. And so the business is positioned as a growth partner, even though we maybe charge, how like an agency would. But again, a lot of these people we're working with for years and years. And so the model is we get to work with these companies and provide the services and help grow. But, the long-term play is like if we find businesses that we really know we can grow, and that's why I like that we're working with different groups, because we get to see which ones we're really good at.
Right.
Then okay, now we can start writing checks, investing into these companies, and we know the ones that we really can help grow.
Yeah,
so
that's super smart.
That's kind of the long-term play. Yeah.
I just forgot it, but so someone that's starting out for like marketing, would you tell them to like pick a niche and just work on that? Because you started out in baseball, right?
Yeah.
So, or just have the varieties of businesses.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say pick a niche. I would say pick a problem.
Okay.
And people pay money for problems to be solved, and they pay more for more difficult problems. And so like I find like either more difficult problems or better quality of that thing. So like a good example is if you make videos, you can make some money from, come to Impulse, buy a camera, you go make some videos, go into a restaurant, you make some videos, and you do them very, very well, you can start to charge more, and then you attract better. So like I would say I would pick a service. If I was just starting, I would pick a service. I wouldn't pick a million services. I would pick one service.
Yeah, like a lot of these, like I always get hit up, like how did you start doing like shoots and all that stuff, or charging for marketing, or how would I start? I can start doing websites. It's like you gotta learn it first a little bit, and then start charging for it once you've figured out what you can do very well.
Yeah, well, the fastest way to start making real money does require a portfolio. Like, you can be really good at sales, but any savvy owner is going to say, show me your work.
Yep. So if you don't have work, go create do some free shoots, some free websites for businesses. That's a huge thing, is to get started.
And when you are, I'd say the ideal route is, work for free for a little bit just to gain the portfolio. If, let's say, you don't want to do that, or you need to provide for somebody and you have to figure it out, lean into the angle of being the young, hungry individual where you say, you are my only client. I don't have anyone else. And you're getting pitched by companies that have other clients. And so you will get all of my attention and nobody will work harder. Maybe I'm not the most experienced, but to me, when I was starting out, I leaned into that.
Yeah.
And the owner, although I didn't have the portfolio, I was like, it's hard to say no to that, because it's like, that's a grinder. It's hard to say no. It's like, even if it's not that, like, I kind of want somebody like that on my team. Mm-hmm. So I would say lean into that. Obviously, those are two different methods, and maybe a little bit of both.
You can also just start out doing outreach too. A lot of these business owners love that. They love to see that.
Yeah. And don't do outreach the way that like a lot of the YouTube videos do it. Like,
have you been seeing the ones where he's calling them and saying like "F you" off the bat?
Yes.
Have you guys been seeing that?
Yes.
I was laughing so hard when it
sometimes it's worked, because it's like "F you, I want your money," and the guy's like, and he's like, "Give me to the owner." Like, I saw that yesterday.
Dude, that is such a genius marketing tactic. But like something like that is just doing something innovative. I was laughing so hard.
It's like the guy that's like, well, you don't like fucking making money or something.
Fuck you don't like making money.
Yeah.
It's like, who are you talking to? This is the owner. Yeah. And then he sets up a call with them.
You'd be surprised. I found whatever the scripts are, like whatever the ChatGPT output, like. And this goes for subject lines. Like, I'm seeing, like, with the email campaigns we do for companies, whatever you think, like whatever answer is going to come out, most of the time is what a lot of people are doing. And because a lot of people are doing, when you go, like, what would I answer? What would I open? You would do something that's different than everything you see. Like, I can pull up my LinkedIn right now and show you the messages that all just look the same. Yeah. And so for me, that it also applies in sales, where you might you get a guy saying "F you," like weird.
So
weird.
Like, and one thing, like when I was doing like the marketing stuff, I would like you said, you see all these same messages or whatever. I would do in the subject line. I'd still do this now just to get a response, but I'll do RE : just to get a response, or like they'll think like, oh, I'm responding to this person already, and that's how I got like these leads.
You see funny examples of, there was this company who they would send a PayPal with 2 cents to random emails for each message, and the subject line would be like, just wanted to give you my 2 cents, and then the pitch.
Oh my god,
the pitch would be underneath, because just like creative ways to do things that are weird, and it applies in sales. And so I think if I was just starting out, the biggest piece of advice is just start. I think the worst thing you can do is ruminate too much and try to, learn everything. Like, you're going to learn by doing. Yeah. So many people, like, buy the course, do it. Like, I did the courses. I mean,
you tried college. It's not your thing.
Yeah. I did college. I did all of it. I would say.
Can't sit there and just watch someone else teach it very slowly. That's what happens in college.
Yeah.
You're taught very slow. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you're taught by, like for me with business, any business class I had, I was never taught by a business owner. No, never.
So it's like, I'm trying to make that math, and it's not. But for me, and I had that realization in high school when I was getting yelled at by my business teacher for business and doing well with it.
You're like, here, look at my Shopify.
Yeah, and I had to, and it was cool because I had another business class, and I ended up, going back and speaking. I did it like a year
I was there.
ago.
I remember I was there. That was awesome to see.
I spoke to my business class.
Very cool what schools are doing now is they're making these groups of kids make their own business and actually sell their product
Shark
or
Tank.
service.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I've never seen
They
that.
have real
and
investors.
That changed my mind about school.
Yeah.
So,
Whitewater did
Yeah.
that. That's why Whitewater is awesome. So Whitewater is actually like 90% of my.
we're closed.
Yeah, you can just push.
Yeah, where is
you can
that?
push red on that. 90% of the professors I had also had a business on the side.
Oh,
So
I
that
love
was
that.
huge.
yeah.
The one downside of that was probably they were pigeonholing
Yeah.
the education they were providing
Right.
based on the business they were running.
Right.
But you still got perspective from actual businesses. And then one of my professors actually did the whole like Shark Tank thing.
Yeah.
Where they had an innovators group. That's where we started MGDS, the Game
Yep.
Developer Summit. That's how I got my
Travis was doing a gaming
event.
event.
For, it was like
I remember that.
2 years.
That
we
was
ran
your
it for.
first business, real business.
And we actually were profitable the second year.
Yeah.
But finding. I mean, not saying college is not worth doing.
No.
Just find the right one. Find the one with the right professors
and the right classes and
Yeah.
all that stuff. I mean, like just
and the programs outside of it. Like, how are they supporting you outside of the classroom? You know.
if it's wasting your time, like that's when you know like you have to get out of it. That's the
Right.
biggest thing. I just feel like it's just very slow. But
If it
seeing
feels like
that-
it's holding you back,
Right, holding
from
you back.
actually running the business.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I
when I
often-
saw my teacher come in late, I left. So that was my. That's
like, oh,
what,
you don't care either.
That's what happened.
The worst thing was tenured
Yeah.
professors. They were the worst.
Yeah, I don't know. I
Because
just
they had no like repercussions.
Yeah.
they have a job.
Yeah.
So
What I
yeah,
often-
which is nothing wrong with it. It's just
no,
yeah.
it's like you have to have a plan.
Yeah.
There should be intention behind the decision to go to school and not
But-
don't just go because your family or your parents
Tells
or your
you to,
grandparents
yeah.
said like that's the thing to do.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
I mean, that was just that generation, but I think we're past that now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are doing their own thing. It's
Yeah,
awesome to
YouTube
see.
University now.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And watching Ben do his thing in front of this classroom and just talking to the kids and inspiring them. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know. And you never thought you'd be in that predicament. You know.
Yeah, like
No, never.
who cares what I have to say sort of deal. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, it's full circle, and I think again, like three-ish years ago, I was pitching on a mound playing baseball. So I think you just never know what life brings. Like who knows? Like I have my plans. I have a 10-year plan, but it's like I just I'm so big on like the one day at a time and just winning each day. But I think you enjoy all those moments. One thing about college, just real quick, what I find a lot with people that go to business school, they're very smart, very sharp individuals. A lot of times what I find though is they're extremely good at business planning. They're very good at spreadsheets. They're
Yeah.
very good at all of the formations of LLCs and business entities and hold it like they're very good at all of those logistical technical elements to business, and they spend so much time on all of those elements and forget about the number one only way that a business survives, which is the ability to make money. And so I don't know, that's just something that I found where it's like, again, I go back to like, what would I do if I was to start over? Start. I would just start.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is like, there's a million ways to make $1 million. There are people that work 18-hour days. There are people that work 11-hour days. And there are people that work 8-hour days, but they're more optimized than the 18-hour day. Like you can't get too attached on doing everything perfectly and thinking that there's like some magical formula to making the money. It's just difficult. I call it brute force. I'm still in brute force right now where it's just gritty.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be gritty. And you gotta muscle your way there, and you gotta it's like, not paycheck to paycheck, but sometimes and it's like and
What-
it's fine.
What
but
Damien says, he says you're in the mud. That's
in the
what
mud, dude,
that's
in the
what he
mud.
says.
And
I mean, it's very true. You're just in it.
yeah.
One question I have for you is, when I was 18 or 17 or 18, I used to work at this cafe, Pineapple Cafe right in Oak Creek. And I looked up to the business owner. She was amazing and everything. But I always asked her, I was like, when could you be able to afford an employee? Like,
Yeah.
when was that decision made? Like, how can you do that? Like, and
It's terrifying.
now you're in that predicament where you got 3 employees. What made you that, like, hey, I need to hire somebody? full time?
Yeah, it was initially so terrifying. I mean, let me just start by saying terrifying.
Yes.
I remember I have somebody that, like, an accountant that helps with some of the money, nothing crazy, but like some advice if I need advice, like, can I afford this, yes or no? And I remember,
I'll tell you the answer is no.
Yeah, I remember, I think for me, when I made the decision, it's when I felt, okay, I have learned the skill of making money. I know the action items I can do to make money, and I am now being held back by not lower leverage work, but yes, like by tasks that do not make me money, that is preventing me from making money. Yep. So as soon as I saw that calculation, I said, I'm spending this amount of hours being held back. And if I was to take that amount of hours doing the tasks that make me money, whether it's outreach and sales or whatever those things are, then the math would math for me to get an employee.
Yep.
But I was in a situation, like, for myself where it was tight. It was very, very difficult to do that. And so the gamble, I had to bet on myself and say, I can afford it for this amount of time, but I would have to grow to this amount in order to really afford it. And I remember being like, in terms of monthly recurring revenue, planning on not hiring any full-time employee until I was at least like had $20,000 more in monthly recurring revenue.
Okay.
And then
so you set a goal for yourself to get a full-timer.
I set a goal, but what happened is I got maxed out way before I hit my revenue goal. And so I had to make the gamble. And the funny thing is, what happened was I brought the person on. Initially it was a part-time role. I'm like, definitely can't do full-time, can't do benefits, can't do anything, but I could do part-time.
Yeah.
But then
what's the problem just part-time though? It's just like you don't get them for that full.
So the role that this was for a client success manager.
Yeah.
And so what that means is I was spending so much of my time. Anytime I would get on a meeting and have all these action items and things to do, like, the communication was killing me. And so for me, I'm like, the idea of a part-timer talking to $100 million executive on my behalf, there's no way.
Right.
So I had to make the gamble for now. There's certain hires where maybe it's for task work, editing some posts, that I could have probably done like a part-time role for. I just didn't have that need at the time. But I made that gamble, and it was initially part-time, didn't feel great about it. And the financial person I work with, actually what I love about him is he's got that entrepreneurial, he's like, take the risk. He's like, the math doesn't math. Right. He's like, but if you are who you say you are, you will figure it out.
Yep.
And I'm like, really? Like, if you're telling me, then fine. But it immediately put me in a back against the wall position while onboarding my first time, like, full-time employee. And
I feel like you like that though.
I like it. I don't mind the back against the wall, only because I've done it enough where even when it doesn't work out, it still is fine. So to me, I didn't mind that. But the stress of this needs to work out. Also, I have a human being here for the first time that's a full-time. Now they're relying on you and benefits and like all these crazy costs. But like, you want them to have a good experience while you're busy with your normal work, then busy with the financial pressure that it has to work, and then you want them to have a good experience. Right. And so what I always say,
we'll get into good experiences too with employees too, because I've learned something off Ben as well. But keep going.
Yeah. So what happened was, I just did the best I could. I probably didn't do it perfect. I tried to train the best I could. I made a whole presentation for them before their first day. Like, to me, it was like the most exciting thing ever.
That's awesome.
Like, here's what day one looks like. Here's the first, and I would check in after. I'm like, how was day one? Like, do you feel good? Do you feel? And so just doing that was awesome. But what happened was we grew 30% within the first month and a half.
It's so huge.
After that happened, and it was an immediate unlock of time. So the whole decision of me doing that was when I was able to calculate my time with a dollar sign behind it. Mm-hmm. And people talk about hourly rate. I don't know exactly my hourly rate. I just know when I do these things, I make money. Right. So if I can do them more, I will make more than if I don't. And if I'm doing other things, I will make less money because it's not these things. Right. So as soon as I did that, that's how I could justify the expense. And what happened is we grew 30%, and then like,
because that's what a lot of people just look at is just, we're going to be paying them this amount of money. Like, your time you're getting your time all back. That's what you're getting.
And if you don't learn to delegate,
and you're getting another brain in the business that knows a lot more than you do.
Yeah.
So
getting
ideas and doing all that stuff is it's just huge.
Yeah. So then like a month and a half after that, we brought on the second. And it was the same thing. It was like, okay, this one's part-time. Like we're fine. And then it was like,
we need it.
We kind of need it.
Yeah.
And so it was another gamble. And you just kind of play that game. And it's not that you always want to be gambling, but it's just, you know, I play offense. I hate defense. And every time I've played defense and I've played scared, I've actually like, that's when I usually start like losing deals or, you know, but every time I've played offense, and offense for me means, you know, more risky decisions sometimes and just growth and more. And, you know, for me that's worked out. And so I think momentum is such a difficult thing to get. And so when you have it, you just got to sprint. You got to just run with it because, as you guys know, when it's quiet, it's like, how do we keep the lights on?
Yeah.
And so when that
you got to
happens,
strategize.
When it happens, a lot of times, like the ones that keep the lights on are the ones that went insanely hard when they had the momentum, because then they had the cash flow to recoup from the down season. So, yeah. And
then going to employees too, like. I met all of his employees and they are so funny and happy and it's great. Like, so 2 weeks ago, Ben was like, Ben's very on the go and like, all right, we're going to go get some packages. So I was like, all right, we'll follow him. He picked up a microphone.
Oh, I got a microphone.
Explain that microphone.
So we do,
what's it called on Amazon? Look at your order list. I'll keep going.
On my order list
or whatever it was.
I already know what it was.
I just want to show a picture so they know what it looks like.
It was a karaoke, rose gold karaoke microphone.
Very like crappy, like
super. I mean, it was like $10, but it was supposed to have the auto-tune feature. I don't think it really did. It had an echo feature.
No, it didn't. But he was like, he came in the office just to hype up the group of employees and started singing with them and made them do certain things and just make a great working environment. And I think that's a big takeaway I took from you that day is like, gotta make it fun.
Yeah.
You have to make it fun in the workspace. So not just coming in and doing the stuff and like now, I implemented like Taco Fridays.
Oh, heck yeah, let's go.
I was like, this is fucking sick. I'm gonna do it. And then because that's what he does at his place. All his employees and him eat food and sit down and just kind of go over things and hang out and talk for half hour, whatever it is. And I think that's a cool thing that I learned from you. And if you can go more in depth about that. Yeah,
for sure. When you're in the early stages, it's so like. You can't afford the crazy high, like, and for most business owners they might never get to the point where they can afford a crazy multi 6-figure high salary and where money's the incentive and the driver. So when you talk about creating buy-in without that ability to pay that high of a salary, for me, and that's something I was super nervous about, was like, okay, when you can't afford a crazy high salary and you're doing the best you can, but like how do you get somebody to be bought in? They're never going to be as bought in as you because you're the owner and that's fine. But like, how do you get them to care
as much as you?
How do you get them? How do you get that buy-in? And so, for me, it's like you got to treat people like people, not robots. And you got to look at it from their point of view. And so, like, yes, you want to have a fun work environment. What I've found is like it's all a balance. But if you have those fun moments where you show them like you're having fun with them and like. You are super, super involved with them and like you do the Taco Fridays, like they're thinking about that. You got to remember, like, especially with a full-time role, most of their life, like think 9 to 5, if that's the ratio, they wake up, they get there, most of their day is at work. After 5, they might like either go to the gym, eat dinner, but then they're kind of getting ready to go to bed and do it again the next day. So much of their life is work. And so I think it's important to know that. And so you want to make it a good environment. And when you, 1, show people you care about them. 2, make it a fun atmosphere. 3, lead by example. Mind you, their space is super tight. Oh, yeah. And, like, he still makes them super happy in the environment. Like, you're right next to you're in Chicago. So the space that he has right now, he's probably going to grow out of it pretty soon. But, they're tight and in there. And they love it. It's tight. And, so just you can call out your employees, too. Call them out. Yeah,
him a shout out.
Well, obviously my wife Emma,
Which he just got married in.
Yeah, I got married in October. Yeah.
So shout out Emma.
And that's a whole other thing.
Emma's awesome.
She's amazing. So Emma, Carolina was my first hire. That was, obviously just like a different. Emma and we worked together. I've been with her for almost a decade. So she's seen the company at every stage. She's seen me when I played baseball. That's
awesome.
Yeah, she's
because she was actually in
Louisville with me.
Louisville.
Yeah, she was in Louisville with me.
Then she came back to Chicago with you now.
Yeah, she came back and. So she's seen it all. So like we've always kind of like worked together, and that's been great. So my first full salary and that type of a hire was her name's Carolina, and she's our CSM. Shout out Carolina. And then our next is Sierra, and Sierra's our marketing assistant. And so we do fun things, like for example, whether it's like a team event, we went to an escape room.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, for me it was so fun to do the escape room because you see the value in, maybe you have some ego and pride and like you feel like, oh, you can problem solve all these things, but like I got in the escape room and I'm like, I can't get us out. Like this is not a problem that I can solve. And then Sierra is like, oh, there's the key. I'm like, how did you see the key? And then like Carolina's like, oh, the code is this. And then like Emma's like, oh, it's behind the door under the thing. And it's like you see the value of having an extra set of eyes and having a different perspective. And you could think you're like the coolest, smartest individual ever, but I just think you'll be ran over by a team. I think it's just very hard to do special things by yourself. And so I love my team, and I think that's how I've maybe gotten the buy-in, is just by showing them that I care about them. And we've done team dinners, and you got to create milestones. Like, hey, here's what success looks like individually. Here's what it looks like for a company. And when you hit those milestones, you go out to dinner, and it's like this fun thing, and it keeps them excited to come to work when they have that thing to work for. And it's just a better environment that way. And when you are in a close quarters like I am right now, it's more important. I mean,
you're making it work though.
It's more important to have that than ever. When someone's having a bad day, it's like you're gonna have bad days, but it's an interesting situation when it's packed in a room because everyone feels it. So they're just navigating the team's close enough to where you could have a little vent session. If someone's down bad, it's like, hey, you have people that care about you regardless of if it's business or personal. Like you have people that are here to support you. And I
think that's a awesome takeaway is if you are hiring employees or whatever, ask them what's up. Ask them what's wrong if something's happening, because you just never know. I mean, we're going through it all.
I mean, the amount of people that everyone has their dirt and problems and mess at home, and life in general is difficult. And so for some people, work is a problem too. I mean, you see it on TikTok, people complaining about their careers, and it's just, it's a thing. And so I think having that sense of community, maybe in some of the bigger companies you can't do it, but if you're the owner and you have your team, it's lean into the fact that you can buy the freaking rose gold microphone, $10 microphone.
I thought that was awesome.
And make everybody
what is this dude doing?
We do check-ins on Monday. I call it a rose and thorn. And so you say something good, something bad. It's just a little update. So it's pass the mic around. There's fun things you can do that create buy-in when you can't afford the big salary. And it's just
Did you look at the footage when I told them about what's the ick?
Yes. Sierra's was hilarious with my pacing back and forth.
Yeah. So I asked his employees what is the biggest ick about Ben, because I mean, we all have one.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Go in depth about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny. I mean, so I know Emma's was. I have this term, and I think I may have said it.
I was mocking you a little bit too, and you just didn't realize.
Yeah. So I have this term. I use poison. So something that's just something that's problematic. I call it poison, and at least Emma hates it. She hates it because I think I overuse the term.
It's so
I definitely
good.
think I overuse the term. And I think Sierra's hers was funny because essentially sometimes if there's a stressful situation, I'll leave the room and then they see me pacing. And I just walk back and forth, and I'm like, it's close quarters. Like, I don't want them to feel the tension, but then they see me through the glass window, and they're like, oh, Ben's stressed.
Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, so there's just like funny moments like that.
That's cool. It keeps you grounded.
It keeps you grounded, yeah. And it's kind of, I didn't know that they could even see me do that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we all have. I'm sure we all do at the shop too.
Yeah.
There's some certain things where we're like, oh, he's doing it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but it's funny to hear your team like pick up on those things.
Yeah, that's funny. I was just laughing during that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll give Ben a little shit and film this.
Yep.
And they were like, we got to go back to work. I'm like, no. Let's just get the ick.
Yeah, no, that was a funny video. I was texting them right after.
Where are you posting that?
I'm gonna be posting. I have to get all those clips out. So like right now we're editing that into a bunch of short form clips, but I want to do a long form. I want to do what we just did, like often.
Right. Yeah.
Whenever. I mean, I know you're super busy, but yeah, I think it's just documenting the journey. Even just like watching some of the raw footage
memories,
back, I'm like, this will be cool. This will be insane to show my kid when I'm 40.
Right.
Or
Yeah,
you know,
true.
it's like this, or even just for me to watch myself. Because I would like be in my car and I have videos from like years ago of like me doing like a life update to my future self. It's just worth doing that.
Yeah.
It's worth talking to your future self and documenting that.
For sure. I have a video of me, like, this is before even Camera Store was a thought, but it was like 3 years before the Camera Store, and I was like, I wanted to get into wedding filming and then have my own camera store. And that was a video. I looked super shaggy. I was in
I remember you telling me about that video. Yeah.
In a crappy area, and just talking it into existence is a huge thing.
Yeah, it is.
Doing it.
It's funny.
No excuses. You can't freaking do any excuses. I can't stand excuses.
Yeah, no attitude. So, and that's also something like, especially when I'm hiring, like attitude is
everything, right?
Attitude is everything.
I mean, you went through it. You got rid of some people and you added awesome people.
I hate to say it, but that's a situation I would use the term poison. Like, especially in a team environment.
It's definitely poison.
If you have,
I hope Emma's listening to this right now.
I know, who knows? Shout out Emma if you are. She is probably laughing if she sees it, but it is poison. It's poison. So, and think about this: you have your team, and one of them in a small environment is like complaining about something, and then like
it's not really a big deal either.
And like that thing they're complaining about, maybe it does suck. Who knows? But like now the other people weren't even thinking about it, but now they are, and now it's spreading, and now you have multiple people thinking about the thing. Like it does spread, and so the attitude issues. That's like. When you're hiring, it's like that's something you look out for.
I was watching.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Another question I have is like, how do you keep everybody on task?
So I use
which we just started using too. So
go on, I use Monday. I've used Asana. I've used all the different project management softwares that are out there.
Dude, he's got it dialed down. You have it dialed. And I just love seeing that.
Yeah, so I use Monday. Mondays, it's great. It's simple. You create boards for any of the different businesses, clients, people you're working with, and or if it's just your own company, you can break it down into many different categories. But what's cool about it is you can assign due dates and assign to different team members, and each team member has their own login, and so all of them have their own My Work tab for each day, and so you can have multiple boards going and routing, but it all goes to your one calendar. So like one thing we try to do daily is like a Monday sweep where we go through in the morning and we see all the things that have to be done. And one thing we use is color coding. So we go through and identify this better, like all the tasks that like we can't leave until these are done. And we go through and we like color code those red, and those are the urgent ones. And what it does is it provides clarity for what people are doing. And yes, there's going to be times where, and we deal with it now, where Monday's filled and you don't always get everything done. Yeah. But it is just
because you get off track. Checklist.
Yeah. It gives you the checklist.
Holds you accountable for the stuff too.
It might have not gotten done today, but it's still on the list. It has to be done at some point.
Yeah, it's got to be done, and so for keeping the team accountable, the cool thing is you can with one toggle see everything they did for the week.
Right.
You can see everything they did because they mark it done, and it's saved in
I love the Gantt chart feature where you can set the full goal and then have the individual tasks, and then you can set dependence.
Yes.
So like this goal can't get completed until this goal is completed. So
and there's what he's talking about. So there's lots of cool reporting views, so you can see if you want to for me, I have a dashboard that shows me all of the late tasks, all of the urgent tasks, all of the one-off tasks. Because what you think for me, when you have a scope of work, one-offs are not great because that's out of scope in a way. So I can get a pulse on okay, how many one-offs are we being asked for, how to, that we're navigating, and so it just gives you a good pulse on what you're doing. But for me, what's important about that, and whether you're using Monday or anything else, is you show somebody what winning looks like when they work for you. So hey, here are the things they need help with. It's black and white. They either did them or they didn't.
Right.
And again, you have to make sure you're training and you're leading them. How
do you incentivize getting those tasks done then?
Well, I think and one thing that I've had trouble navigating is you don't want to reward expected behavior.
Right.
So it's difficult to say I'm going to incentivize you to do your job. Mm-hmm. Now, above and beyond, I think is maybe another conversation. It's easier in sales. It's if you hit this quota, then, but for me, I've held back on incentivizing baseline. So the things you're going to do, that's why I'm paying you.
Exactly.
It's the salary the paycheck is for the baseline. Now, one thing you could do is a group goal where it's all right, guys, if we, it could be we're going to order from this restaurant, take out for lunch. If we, by the end of Friday, have no late tasks, if we get to the end of the week and everything is done, are on pace to be done, then we're going to order some bougie meal, something nice. Doesn't have to be crazy, but just a little thing that's can incentivize. But as a group collectively, I think that's a good way to do it. But I've been trying to stay firm on I'm not going to reward you for expected behavior, because otherwise because then you're almost telling people it's almost unexpected to just do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, I try to lead by example. So I have my own task list, and obviously I work the most hours, and that's just how it's going to be. But you definitely lead by example in doing that. And but you have to show them, especially when we have a lot of tasks, and if Emma's watching, she knows there's a lot of days where it's whoa, where do I start? I have so many things to do. And there's days where you have to learn the ability to let something burn.
And he does a great job of that. He just puts a task that, a client asked for that. It's not really needed, and he puts it in for next week, but he makes sure he gets it in there, You have to gauge what you can and can't let navigate
burn.
the good stuff. Yep.
Yeah, you have no choice, and that's for the team too. So it's I know I struggle with where should I be putting my focus on. So it's only reasonable to think that they would struggle with their list, and so it's helpful to help walk them through, hey, this and this has to be done. The rest, get to it if you can, but I'm not leaving if I don't get that. Really position it that way to give them clarity. And again, I say this a lot of times. I feel even the posts I do and the advice I give, it's to myself. These are things I actively struggle with and actively am working to try to be better at. And so you're never gonna, when you hire employees, you're never gonna be perfect. Like I said, I made my little presentation for Carolina's first day. You do things that you just do the best you can, and you just know it's not gonna be perfect. But again, there's a million ways to make $1 million. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I think that takes some of the pressure off of it. That's what I've been doing to navigate.
Yeah. Okay. So for 2026, what are some goals, and what are you going to be doing differently? Biggest, go into that.
Yeah, biggest goal. It's funny. I do digital marketing. I work with companies where we push social media content. We run ads, and I think the reason I haven't I've posted, but I haven't really been doing great with my personal brand, I think is because my way of growing the company has not involved paid ads so much as this job posting strategy. And so those channels have been huge for me, but this strategy of this Indeed job posts, LinkedIn outreach has worked so well that I've been so swamped and busy working that if there's anything I've learned from working with these businesses, it's like the ones that do the best are the ones that have the best brand. So like think Chicago Dental and think Nate.
Yeah.
His ads just outperform, some of the other companies that we work with that don't involve the brand. And so that it's made me check myself and go, wow, like brand is everything. Brand is important, and brand is the way you get lower cost per conversions because they recognize and they know you, and there's credibility and there's trust, and you really in this day and age can't have that without social media and without the website. And so I really that was like the big insight I had in Q4 was like I gotta get back on my personal brand. And so like doing exactly what we did a week ago, even like podcasts and just things in general to really help push the brand it's to me what I've noticed is when you focus on the brand, you will think that you magically got better at sales. And you didn't magically get better at sales, but there was just more trust when they Googled you. There was more trust when they went on your website. And so you didn't have to fight as hard. And
people
that's why,
love you too. And that's one thing, like I was talking to Drew one time and he said that's one thing that you need to work on is growing your personal brand, because that's what people type in. Type in, or they trust you. They love your stories. Like that's what you have to kind of market.
That's my biggest focus, because I'm like, am I getting better at sales? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm like, but my portfolio has gotten better.
Why do people know Impulse? Because of Travis and Shane.
Of course.
Why do people know Wigs? I know Wigs because of Ben.
Right.
So
people talk about key man risk, like, ooh, I will say, and honestly, this is just to be transparent, the companies that I'm working with that have a face to the name are doing, with the exception of heavy hitters like Meekum Auctions, which you could argue Dana Meekum, right? Yeah. Dana Meekum is like, people know him, so it's like even the company at that size.
He expanded past.
He outgrew it.
Though.
Yeah.
Where now his brand is like surpassing
right.
him. Yeah,
that's insane.
But the companies that when you start a company, if you're not making much money and you're worried about key man risk as if you're going to have some exit in the next year, like you're worried about the wrong things. Like you need, and so I think the companies I work with that have the face to name outperform the ones that don't, that I'm working with, just to be honest. And
Nate is in his company. Like that's one thing, like a lot of these business owners that fail are not a part of it.
Right. Yeah. They want everyone to...
they want it hands off, but you got to be in it. You have to be in it.
With you, like when I went on a shoot with you... Dude, your like mindset changes. Like you're not Ben the friend, you're Ben the work.
Trying to get shit done.
Like okay, we got to do this, and you're like in there.
Right. That's when I started looking at it from the business owner perspective, where I'm like, okay, if I'm the owner, what do I want them to do right now? Like what, and then what do you want me as the educator? Like what? Like I just look at it so like the details matter.
And it's contagious. Like that made me feel like, okay, I'm not gonna make jokes. Like we're gonna still have fun with it, but like, this is professional mode.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into like what you're trying to hit for this year, just for a little bit, like a goal wise? I don't know if you want to say that number, but just to look back on. So when we can you have you on in next year, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm known for I set some crazy
fucking do it.
I set some crazy goals. So like my goal I remember last year was to get to 50K, like to get to around 50K a month. And I think I started the year at like 15K a month. And it's funny because we ended the year.
And he's not boasting about this. This is like, I think you need to know these numbers.
Yeah, I mean it's objective, it's not. We could pull up the screenshots of the negative 50K. Like, none of this is this is brute force.
Yeah, right.
This is the result of brute force. But we got to the end of this year, and it was funny because you want to know the number we got?
Let's hear it, man. I love it.
Well, it kind of stings.
Okay,
but. 49,700. 49,700. And the thing is, I could have. So we had a deal where they paid everything up front.
Yeah.
But it was like for 13 months. And so I'm like, depending on how I divide this math, I could have maybe framed my way to the 50. And somehow, but I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I'm not gonna.
It's gonna be like it's not.
I'm like, I can't count it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of funny, but we all, almost hit kind of whatever here, there, like, and that's again monthly recurring revenue. We have one-offs. We have people that will pay us. So like, I actually never even looked at like the bank statement. In December alone was, because we had a couple, people that paid everything up front.
Yeah.
It was probably like 75,000.
Awesome,
so like we ended the year by having our biggest month ever in December. I think maybe 80. I'd have to check.
And that's why you set goals, though. So
yeah. And so like in this year, my goal, I want to get to the end of the year and I want to hit 200K.
Let's do it.
So for me, again,
you're gonna hit it. So,
it sounds and we'll see. For me, I will always be the guy that sets the unrealistic expectation. It's like, all right, bet. Because I'm like, the whole like shoot for the stars, land on the moon, like that whole thing. It's like, for me, that's just better than setting an attainable goal. It's like, for me, I'm like, okay, if we do have one life, why the heck am I going to be reasonable? Why am I not going to take the risk? Why am I not going to do the thing? Like, if what I'm saying sounds like laughable, then it's like I'm on the right track. If what I'm doing sounds impossible, then I'm like...
Because when you do get it done, I mean...
Yeah. I mean, it's like
it was achievable.
Yeah, and I think I set the goal.
But you had to put the work in.
Yeah, what I did this last year, I set the goal, and I'm like, I kind of just threw it at the wall. I'm like, yeah, it would be insane, like that, whatever. But I completely forgot that was the goal. But like I said before, like I just focused on the process. I just focused on winning each day.
The grind.
I forgot about the like if you would have told me when I was at like 13, 15K that I was actually gonna get to the 50, I was like, no way, because I was struggling. I was struggling.
Well, I remember when you were like asking us, like, how do you guys charge like more than like
now you're doing it
multi-$1,000 deals?
Yeah,
it's like at some point it makes sense,
Yeah, and so I think again, I'm just following the same thing I did last year, where you set the crazy goal. I'm just gonna cook. I'm just gonna cook. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna we'll see what happens. For me, it's all about like the person you become along the journey. So like for me, like the difficulty, I think sometimes I create my own struggle in some sense. Whenever things get comfortable, I don't love that.
No.
And so I think the way I create my own difficulty, because that's where the real growth happens for me, is like when I'm comfortable, I don't feel like I'm growing. I feel like if anything, I'm almost like
stagnant
and or we're about to work backwards. And so I think for me, the way I've been able to create that feeling of being behind, to create the urgency, has been by setting some of these goals where, there's the goal, and I feel behind. I don't focus on that behind feeling, but it's enough incentive to where I'm not comfortable.
Right.
And I think it's just about having that balance of urgency without being too overwhelmed, to where now you're making decisions and you're tense and stressed. And so I think that's my goal. And again, business is math. It's inputs and outputs. So for me, I audit, what the heck did I do to get to 50?
Right.
Okay, what are like the highest paying businesses? What's the highest leverage activity of my time? Then I do a time audit, and then it's like, okay, I need to delegate the fluff, just focus on all of the things that got me from there to there, and just do so much of that it's irreasonable that I wouldn't get to the 200. So like, it is math, and the most difficult thing is like, it's easy to say that, but then you're managing people, you're trying to pay bills, you have personal life, and so it's so difficult to focus on the simple things. That's like, most, like, you guys know, like, you guys have been doing it long enough, like, how to grow, but like life happens, and so it's just difficult to, I think, when it gets cloudy and you have a million things going in different directions, to just like really break down, okay, what do you need to do to get to this outcome? If you just do that, you will get to that outcome. It is math. It's not some trick. It's not like you don't have to overcomplicate it, but it gets complicated because of life. Mm-hmm. So the amount of times I've set my plan and I'm like, wow, I said I was going to do this, and I haven't been. Yeah. Like, that's a problem. And because, what happens is your priorities change based on what's required. And in business, like, yes, I have a roadmap for like what I think I will do to get to 200, but you have to do what's required. And so like, if something happens in the business where you have to keep the lights on, that is going to pull my attention away from doing the things that will get me to my goal. You're a business guy,
and you can't plan your life around things that might go wrong.
Yeah, you can't.
Like even like booking like plane tickets for vacations. It's like,
I know I'm
going to get busy this month, so I probably should hold off. And like, you're just going to keep pushing it back until like just book the tickets.
Yep.
That's a thing that you can look forward to. And work your ass off until then. You know.
Yeah.
100%.
Or sometimes we don't have the money to go do these travel experiences or whatever it is. Like, I always think of it like as a networking thing. Like, something will come out of it.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Something will come out of it. That's why it's worth it. So, just go do the thing that. Just go do it. You know.
Yeah.
I always say that, but say if a new, or not new business, but a business is looking at Wigs marketing, and they're uneasy to like book a call with you. Like, why would they book a call with you? Or like,
That's a good question.
what would make them want to do that?
Yeah, I would say, and I think I have it at, like, towards the top of my website. So the short answer is I've leaned heavily into Growth Partner. So I actually just had somebody that I've been working with, I started working with them a few months ago, tell me on the call the reason why they went with me was because of the Growth Partner term. Because that stood out to them, and they just were at a point where they wanted a partner. And again, you know, the thing about partner in business, a lot of times usually involves, like, it gets messy, and there's, like, you know, maybe equity involved. And I think for at least what we're doing right now, we're essentially a service provider, but it's just positioned in a way where it's essentially like a partner, like we're an extension of your team. And so I think, like, I have leaned into this almost anti-agency model that confuses people, because you're like I'll tell someone, like, I'm not a big fan of agencies, and they're like, okay,
Yeah,
like,
right. But that's what you do.
And but that curiosity, I think, is the reason why people have said yes.
Right.
So that's really the Growth Partner is I just am full, and it also holds me accountable because they're either growing or they're not. So like, I sometimes lose sleep at night if I have a business we're working with that's struggling.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
oh, I can't stand it. Like, it drives me crazy, and I think they feel that.
Because it's a waste of their time, their money, and it's a waste of your time, because, like, you want to make something substantial that's going to put your mark.
If you say Growth Partner, they better grow.
Right.
You know, and so it adds some pressure, and that's been a learning curve too. Like, it's one thing to learn how to edit a video, it's another to learn how to, like, scale a company, yet alone different industries, and again, you do the best you can, and it's like, I'm not going to act like I have it all figured out, but you learn as you go, and you do the best you can. But yeah, I would say the Growth Partner is the reason why people have been saying yes. Yeah.
Cool.
And it's because you come off as an authentic, good person.
Yeah,
That's what I would
exactly.
think.
Yeah,
Like,
I've had
just one chat with you, like, you know, you're not, like,
You're not, out
Yeah.
here trying to.
No, I've had times where, like, we had a post go out a couple months ago, and I'm like, maybe I saw the post, but, like, maybe I didn't. And I usually am, like, looking at everything before anything ever goes out ever. And long story short, the post wasn't great. And, you know, the owner reached out, and they were like, hey, whoa, like, this isn't that. And all I said was, I think I did it on the call, I'm like, whoa. I said it too. I'm like, I said, I can't even believe that I actually did that. Like, I can't believe that got through me. And, you know, I think if anything, I've been more any mishaps that we've had, I think I am usually more frustrated than the owners are, but I show them that.
Yeah.
And I think because they see that, they have a sense of, like, okay,
He's taking accountability.
He's pissed off about it. Like, if he was trying to defend himself, if he was trying to act like it was good, not bad, like. But I think when you mess up, dude, you gotta just be real. Like, we're human. There's human error.
Mistakes happen. Like, I had one situation where I accidentally posted on a different platform.
Yeah.
Or a total different brand.
Yeah. It's happened. It's happened to us.
I had that happen, and I mean, your
heart drops.
My face got red. I wasn't even with anybody.
Yeah.
And they just texted me like, "Hey, what is this?"
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know. I messed up.
Yeah.
That's
like
what you gotta take accountability.
That's happened to us before. It's like your heart. It's like,
I feel so bad. Like, you gotta fire me right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's what has to happen.
Right.
You know.
I had a situation where it was a really good phishing attempt. Like, I fell for it.
Yeah.
And my Facebook got hacked, and they ended up spending a bunch of money on my client's
Oh man,
Facebook
I remember
page.
that.
But yeah, I ended up, like, super embarrassed of, like, I can't believe this happened to me.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been in this for 10 years and I don't fall for this stuff. But
Right.
it was basically like a Facebook beta update.
Yeah.
that they push through the official channel, and
That's
I
crazy.
signed up for it.
Yeah, you got to be careful with
And,
that stuff.
But after that, I was like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to like try to make this right, get your money back. I'm gonna like
you did. You made it right, and mistakes will happen. And it's okay to feel like shit, and
it's normal.
Deal with it. Yeah.
Right.
You're way better off admitting it than trying to backtrack and frame, because one thing I always say is like,
I think that's the worst.
Yeah, real recognize real.
Yeah.
So it's like I could tell when someone's lying to me, even if they're very good.
Yeah.
Even if they're a narcissist, I can just tell.
Just being honest.
Yeah, because like when you're in the game, like, and you have those moments, like it's tonality, like you can just see it in their eyes, and so it's irresponsible to think that you're going to be able to frame an executive out of.
Right.
Like something that happens. And so the last like big touch point, I think, is just prioritizing the relationship with the people you're working with. If something like that ever happens, because you're a human and there's sometimes human error, even though sometimes like it should never happen, but if it does, it's like if you have the relationship with them, you're way better off than if you are bad at communication, if you're unlikable, if you treat them as a client, because then it's gonna go right back at you. They'll treat you as a contractor.
Right.
You make that mistake, you're gone. But if you have that relationship with them, they'll obviously be frustrated, might get heated, but then they're like, you know what, it is what it is. Just don't do it again. And that's just that conversation won't go that way if you don't prioritize the relationship. Yeah.
Let's see what else I got. I have a bunch. There's so much. We could talk for hours. But because we're going to do another podcast a year from now. I always liked it. I think that'd be cool.
Heck yeah.
So let's do one from a year from now. But what do you want to say to yourself
for next year?
That's going to happen right now. So
well,
what do you want to see from yourself from next year?
Yeah, I mean, so like I'll treat this.
It doesn't have to be work related either. It can be outside of it, like
I'll treat this the way I treat like the journals, like when I go in and I check in.
Yeah.
And so what I do there is I say like, where I'm at now.
I hope Ben is.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, like where I'm at, like in a year from now. I think this year, I'm challenging myself more than ever. And I'm setting goals that I think are, could be deemed like unrealistic. And I think this year I'm almost a little nervous. I think I'm nervous because I think I'm going to do the things I say I'm going to do. But I'm nervous at the type of human I have to become. I think I have to become a little more diligent, a little sharper. Like I'm noticing the foods that I'm eating, I feel a little foggier in my brain than others, and I'm realizing I can't be foggy because the problems I have to solve. And so I'm slowly becoming like this new person, but it's like a lot. It's a lot. And I think, especially, there's business and there's personal. I think my message to myself would be, I told you so. Like,
I love that.
Like, I told you so. And, I don't know. I'm very curious to see what my life looks like, not necessarily from monetary revenue. One thing that would be really cool to see is the team and the employees. Like, I think that's, to me, like, I could talk about that for hours. It's just the coolest thing ever. But I'm curious to see. I guarantee you, I'm not in that little, hey Ben, that little cubicle you're in. Like, let's see where you are now. I think it's gonna be a little bit bigger.
I'm telling you, I was like legit shocked.
Yeah.
When I went back to, because I haven't seen Ben in like 8 months.
Yeah.
Because we've just been doing our thing, and when I went up to the elevator and went into his office, I was like, is this Ben?
Yeah.
Like I knew he could do it, but like this is cool.
Yeah. So I think the pattern of all of the goals, they're always going to be like unrealistic, but I'm just so excited for like the team. I'm so curious to see like, are there going to be new faces?
Yeah, right.
Right now you got Emma, you got Carolina, Sierra, myself, and we have some contractors. Honestly, don't sleep on the contractors. Like, yeah, we have some people that are in the U.S., some people out of the U.S., and there's language barriers, but like I have contractors that I've worked with for years that are go-to, and they're great. And like I have ones that if you need something, they'll leave the office at 2 a.m. to go do the thing to send to you in time. And so you gotta,
they care about you.
I have contractors where I'm like, I might fly you to the U.S. and like like, let's hang out.
Yeah.
Shout out Eve, shout out Asan, like we have, shout out Sharapov, shout out like we have a wide range, Catherine, Rita, Joel. So yeah, I'm curious to see what it all looks like, but I'm excited, so
Cool.
We'll see.
All right, I think we could go for hours, but
Yeah,
because we're already at 2
yeah,
2
we're at
hours.
2, yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun, but where can they reach you from, and socials?
Yeah. So just go to WIGZ, so wigsmarketing.com, wigsmarketing.com. That's my website. If you go to my Instagram, it's probably, it's like the same. My username's the same. It's just my name. So Ben, Ben, Wiegman, WIEGMAN.
Phone number?
Phone number?
Your personal.
We won't. I mean, there's a company number. There's a company number, but just send me just go through the website.
Yeah.
Send me a DM.
Yeah.
But yeah, go to my Instagram, reach out. The companies that we're really, really looking to work with are in the ranges of, it could be 7 to 8 figures. We work with 9-figure companies, but we're looking for people that want long-term partners, and we're looking for people that, maybe there's just an information gap with digital marketing, and a lot of the companies, we're doing a lot with AI now. And so like, if you have a business that essentially you need to take to the next level, but there's that information gap, I don't know, I hate to say it, but I work so hard that I just am convinced, like, I'd be shocked if there's somebody out there that, cares more than I do and would do a better job. I don't think that's out there. So hit me up. And if you guys need anything camera related.
Oh, get out of here.
Hey, these guys, I got businesses I work with. I just told them right now, podcast setups like we're doing right now. He's about to go, we'll go do that, like in a month or so. But you guys have been the go-tos. And like I say, and you guys will see this, like if you just go to their business on Google and go to their Google reviews, like you'll see, it's like Shane and Travis, like they're the most like genuine business people I've ever worked with. And especially, when you have some rough partnerships and you get scammed, it's like you find your go-tos and you stick with them. And like we're all on our grind, and so I'll send like occasional texts, and it's like, oh, keep it up, proud of you guys. And it's one of those where it's like you do the best you can to hang out as much, but there's no judgment because we're all on our grinds. And when we connect, it's like it's invaluable. So you guys are my brothers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and for this year, I'm gonna get better at come and just hang out with you for a little bit.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah,
we have to.
We'll do something non-work related.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, we got to do something. Just make time for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe golf with just the left hand.
We'll make it work.
But yeah, this was great.
Yeah,
Ben Wiegman.
Yeah.
This was the 5th podcast. This is like a therapy session. I love it.
And we got some people watching too. So
yeah. Anybody in the chat that is still here, just comment below.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. The content that we just did, I'm going to be pushing out. Again, I think what's cool about this whole day and age, it's like authenticity is winning right now. So just being real, that's what's awesome about the podcast. Like zero filters, zero gatekeeping.
Right.
Just like, here you go.
No time limit. Just talk.
Yeah. So
cool. All right, guys.
Thanks for watching.
All right, later.
Peace.
Also, on 3, let's say in poison.
Oh, say poison?
Or it's poison.
Oh, it's poison? Yeah. Okay, fine. All right.
1, 2, 3. It's poison.
Oh.
That's for Emma.
Yeah. That's funny.